watching WTVJ NBC, where the news comes first.
This is Channel 4 News with Banal Haddad, bringing you all things 1970s. It's December 31st, 1979, and here's a look back at our decade. First off, domestic news. This decade has been momentous. First, busing was ruled legal by the Supreme Court April 20th, 1971. This is a big step in relieving racial tensions in this country. While racial tensions have been relieved, political tension is tossed. President Nixon was impeached as a result of the 1972 Watergate scandal. While he wasn't directly involved in the conflict, he was involved in trying to cover it up.
A Senate investigation revealed that President Nixon was involved in the Watergate scandal. Chief White House counsel John Dean dealt the president some of the heaviest blows. The resignations of other top White House aides and the disclosure that all conversations had been recorded on tape led in August 1974 to President Richard Nixon's resignation.
Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
He is the only president ever to resign.
The Supreme Court decision Roe v. Wade was a big step for women, declaring abortion legal on January 22nd, 1973, sparking many protests due to its controversiality. Sounds like it'll be controversial.
The New York State Senate today passed one of the nation's most sweeping abortion control bills. Advocates and enemies of the bill brought tremendous pressures to bear on legislators on the emotional issue, and the drama was summed up late yesterday in the State Assembly when one man's vote made the difference.
But, Mr. Speaker, I say to you in all candor, and I say this very feelingly to all of you, what's the use of getting elected or re-elected if you don't stand for something?
Ray's vote made the difference late yesterday as New York's Assembly passed a bill legalizing abortions for any reason up to the 24th week of a pregnancy. The decision to be made between a woman and her physician. But then it became apparent that the bill would fail unless one vote was changed.
But I cannot, in good conscience, stand here and thwart the obvious majority of this House. I therefore request you, Mr. Speaker, to change my negative vote to an affirmative vote.
And that's how the abortion bill was passed.
While women were protesting legalized abortion, students at Kent State University were protesting the Vietnam War when 4 students were shot and 9 students were injured by the National Guard. In international news, Syria attacked Israel on October 4th, which fell on the Jewish high holiday of Yom Kippur in 1973. While those countries were at war, we're aiming for peace when we and 14 other countries signed the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, which limited the production of nuclear weapons. Ironically, on March 28th of this year, the 3 Mile Island nuclear facility released immense amounts of nuclear radiation in the wake of trying to limit nuclear production from other countries. Only time will be able to tell the effects of this. Now let's take a look at the fashion trends of this decade. One major fashion trend of the decade was bell-bottom jeans. These seem like they're never going to go away. Baseball jersey-type shirts were also very popular. A major staple in every teenage girl's closet is a miniskirt. One major fashion trend was platform shoes.
A few things that entered the palm of every American during the past decade were pet rocks, easy-bake ovens, Play-Doh, and crayons. And this is my pet rock, Steve.
Slinky toys are fun toys.
It's Slinky, for fun it's a wonderful toy. What walks downstairs alone or in pairs and makes a slinkity sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun it's a wonderful toy. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
Slinky is a toy product of James Industries.
We've been watching on TV.
All just singing.
Here's a look at this decade's box office hits.
Best-selling novel, Jaws.
I just found out that a girl got killed here last week. And you knew it. You knew there was a shark out there. You knew it was dangerous. But you let people go swimming anyway.
Looking back on the decade, the Montreal Olympics of '76 were one of America's biggest wins. The American men's swimming team got all but one gold medal, and our cross-country track runner, Bruce Jenner, set the new record of 8,300 points.
Primed and ready. Ready to rock the world.
Way out in front.
The 1976 Summer Olympic Games, Montreal, the decathlon. 10 events, 10 arduous trials that would determine who was the best of all.
If you've been anywhere outside of your house in the past 10 years, you've seen people in bell-bottom jeans, you've been to a couple discos, and you've probably seen...
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
Here they come.
Star Wars,
Coming in too fast.
an adventure unlike anything on your planet. It's an epic of heroes and villains and aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, rated PG.
One of the biggest societal changes in the 1970s were obesity rates. They've drastically increased with the new McDonald's craze sweeping the nation. Another big food that's been popular in every American household due to the war is Spam.
You don't say ham, you say spam. Spam is real fried ham. You don't say ham, you say spam. You don't say ham, you say spam. Spam is real fried ham. You don't say ham, you say spam.
When you want to serve delicious meals for your family, you don't say ham, you say spam.
You don't say ham, you say spam. Spam is real fried ham. You don't say ham, you say spam. Spam is real fried.
Sure, you got a real great burger. We got great big hero burgers. No, it can't be beaten. They're fresh and made to order, just begging to be eaten.
Cheetos make so fresh for you. Kentucky Fried Chicken too.
So come on, everybody, put your size.
Cheetos gives you freedom of choice. Cheetos gives you freedom of choice. Cheetos gives you freedom of choice.
Hi, is Barbara ready? I think you have time for a bite. Your kitchen is thick and rich.
Doesn't your mom buy you Heinz?
No? Why?
Just taste it. Anticipation is making me wait. Sorry you had to wait.
I'm not. Thick, rich Heinz ketchup. The taste that's worth the wait.
Breaking news in health and science included Apollo 13 coming back on April 17th, 1970.
Kennedy Space Center, Florida. Prime launch site for America's space vehicles. Designated one of our country's historic places at ceremonies attended by the Apollo 11 astronauts. This is where man began his journeys to the surface of the moon.
And the discovery of the virus that caused the Legionnaire's disease in 1976. Other important people such as Jim Morrison, who was an influential singer from the band The Doors and influenced a lot of music during the 70s. Muhammad Ali, who was a very famous boxer who had very little defeats. Cesar Chavez, who was very important in rights for Hispanics and partnered with Dolores Huerta to make the National Farm Workers Association. Richard Nixon, who was president from 1969 to 1973, Gerald Ford, who was president from 1974 to 1977, and Jimmy Carter, who was president from 1977 to 1981. Now let's listen to the music from the decade.
American woman, stay away from me. American woman, mama, let me be. There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry.
The improvements of technology in this decade have been astounding, which includes the Boeing 747 airplane, or the jumbo jet, which was invented on January 22nd, 1970, or first put into commission. Included in the use of technology was the Pong game, which was invented as a training exercise for Atari co-founder Nolan Bushnell, which was based on a electronic ping pong table game, which later resulted in a lawsuit against Atari because it copied the idea of a game from Magnavox Odyssey. The microwave oven technology also increased, which increased the popularity and lowered the price. Technology also improved cassettes, which caught up with the quality of 8-track tapes, and the LCD and LED screens were invented by Westinghouse in 1972.
You're watching WTVJ NBC, where the news comes first.